friend and fellow mover. So we have our final Monday movement challenge. It is the last Monday in the month of August, and this is number 4 for us in our number 4 in our series. So what we're working with today is another 100 rep challenge of a get up. However, we're taking some liberties with how we're determining the 100 reps. So we're going to be doing a rolling get up, which means we're coming from our back, we're going to be on the floor, and then we rock up with some momentum to stand. And then we have to squat down or essentially squat down and roll back. But what we're going to do is 2 variations of the rolling get up. And we'll do 50 reps of each. One of them is pretty strict, just roll to a squat, stand, squat back down, roll back down. But then the second one is a staggered stance. So this is more of a lunge. And if you did our previous Movement Monday get up where we had the split stance, that one is a great preview for this one. So if you've not done the previous videos, you might do these in order. You might go back and do those, because we do a lot of really nice squatting to standing preparation in the previous videos, and then we have some really nice preparation for the split stance, like a lunge get up. So we're putting those together, we're adding a rolling component. It's super fun. Let's get ourselves warmed up and ready to go. So for your prep set, let's start seated. In your seat, bring your hands behind you, have your knees bent, and take your feet wide as you rock side to side. So we have the legs and the feet staggered here, which allows the inside leg to roll inward more. And it allows the outside leg to roll outward more. So we're working here with just some internal and external rotation in the hips. It's not super strict though, like there's a lot of total body motion happening in addition to the hip swivel. Let's just do a few more of these. Just, again, getting the body ready to move, getting the joints prepared for the demands of these get-ups. You might imagine too, because we're doing some rolling front to back, that there's a core component, and you are correct. There is. There is definitely an abdominal component. So we're going to be working also some on building heat in our core. All right, let's take the legs forward now. Just give them a little shake out. Keep your right leg extended, bend into your left knee, close your left knee as best you can without pain, obviously, and bring the heel back towards your glute, and then just interlace your fingers, hold on, and sandwich your leg to your chest. Sit nice and tall. Just hugging and squeezing and squeezing and hugging. Good. Same side is bent. Hook underneath so that you hold your leg up, and you hold your foot off the floor with the hook of your arm, and then just circle your ankle a few times. Good, circle the opposite way. This whole time your thigh and your chest are trying to come together. Point and flex a few times. So we do need a good deal of ankle mobility, especially when we work the squatting transitions. Good, and then release, second side. So hug your right side in, interlace your fingers, and just draw the shin towards the femur. So you bring your lower leg, your upper leg together, so calf to hamstring, and then you bring your chest and your thigh together, so you close the space there at the front of the hip joint. Okay, and then again, scoop under and circle out your ankle. Nice big circle, opposite way. And then do a few times to point and flex. and extend your leg. Shake, shake, shake. With your two legs extended, your feet are apart enough that you can circle in opposite directions. Again, just building some really nice heat in the ankles here. Reverse, other way. Really big. Find center, point and flex a few times. Good, and then scooch forward so you have plenty of mat real estate there behind you and your knees are bent. Take your hands onto the fronts of your shins, and as you inhale, give a little pull with your arms so that you can pop your chest. You can lift your chest and move your shoulders back and feel your spine move into your body, and then doing the opposite. As you exhale, round out, catch your hands onto your shins so there's a little pull. And allow your shoulder blades to be really wide, your lower back to be really round. Inhale, as you come up, your knees can go a little wider, that's fine. Exhale, roll halfway down. Inhale. So sort of like a seated cat-cow. Exhale. Notice at the top, you tilt your pelvis, so it's anterior forward tilt, and then exhale, you tuck your pelvis, posterior tuck or posterior tilt. Just do about 3 more. Warming up the spine, warming up the core. Good, 1 more to sit yourself up. And now a little bit more from the abdominal engagement. Lift your arms up into the air, reach tall, sit tall. And then as you exhale, take your arms forward, round your spine slowly, slowly. Now let's go just about 3/4. So it's the small of your back that presses down, but your shoulder blades and your ribs are still up. Good, and then from there, sit up, reach up. Oh, that's a good one. Let's do it again. So reach tall and then exhale. Press the small of your back flat into the ground, hollow through your belly, and reach up, rise up. So we exhale, go back, hold to breathe in, get the air, and then exhale everything out and come up. So it's nice to come up either while you're exhaling, let's keep going, or when you're empty. And I often like to move when I'm empty there. So I actually breathe out here and then move. So I move on empty. If that works for you, you can do it. It's not a big deal. We're just trying to use the breath to assist whatever project we are doing with our body. And today the project happens to be rolling get-ups. So you're going to breathe in whatever way is natural for you. Let's do 1 more like this. So this is nice, slow, controlled spinal articulation. At the top, you can release your arms, shake out your legs for a moment. Good, bend your knees, roll all the way down onto your back, and hug your knees to your chest. Good, pretty similar, but let's add a component. So your legs go straight up into the air. Reach your arms alongside your legs. So your arms are parallel to the floor and you actually frame your legs with your forearms. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, curl your upper body, get hollow. That's why the exhale is so helpful. And then start to lower your legs and let that tip you. Go slow, go slow, go slow, but eventually you're sitting up, okay? And then from here, you can reach your arms overhead, nice stretch, and let's go in reverse. Lower your arms, tuck your pelvis, round your spine, and slowly as you go, the legs tip into the air. And then we tip the legs and rise up, reach up, tip the legs, and go back. So when we come up, the legs are leading. And when we go back, the spine is leading and the legs trail. But the legs continue to tip in both directions. So just to reiterate, when we rise up, the legs will lead and the spine, the torso will trail. And then when we go down, the spine and the torso lead and the legs trail. All right. So we're starting to feel a little bit of that, that rock and roll. But here, not too much momentum. You're still controlling it. And we got 3. So I hope you're starting to feel a little warmer. We'll go for 2 more. And we'll go for 1 more. We're going to rock into seated and stay seated. Good. Again, shake it out. Now, as you bend into your knees and ground your feet, bring your hands behind you so that you can press yourself up into a squat position. You can keep your hands behind you for a moment and just feel it out. So you can shift your weight a little bit. You can lift one hand and the other. Just, playing around, starting to see how your ankles and your knees are feeling about squatting today. Good. And then let's bring the arms forward. Bring the hands together and use your elbows to guide your knees a little bit wider, lengthening through your spine, opening through your inner legs. So just a nice low squat position here. Take another moment to breathe. And then thinking about one side at a time being in a squat, bring your hands back behind you. One leg stays bent, other leg goes straight. Have a moment to sit. This is the position we saw a little bit earlier. But then pull your straight leg right back in and under you so that you're squatting. Let's go the other side. The hands can stay behind for right now. Extend one leg, the other leg out in front of you. And then you want to push a little bit into your hands, but definitely push into your bent side foot. So the leg that's bent, push into the foot to lift the straight leg and bring it in, okay? And then just a couple times side to side, kind of stepping like in and out of a squat. This is a really nice mobility drill. Yeah, especially if you're working on the full range, like the depth of your squats. Okay, 1 more. And then we're squatting. Swing your arms forward and pause for a moment. Good. Bring your hands back behind you. Walk your feet a little bit forward and sit. And then roll onto your back. Hug your knees to your chest. Right away, curl your head and shoulders up so you're in a tight little ball. Teeny tiny, so you're really pulling your thighs to your chest, but you're also trying to lift your chest to your thighs. Good. And now we start a little bit of rocking. So you can bring your hands to the tops of your shins, and then as you push with your knees, engage with your core. And on this one, we're not sitting up. So the rock is pretty small. We're going to keep the rocking here mid-range. So you're just going up and down the length of your lower back and a little bit into your mid-back, but really not much pressure on your ribs. Mostly we're staying to the low back here. Good. Bring your hands behind your head and keep rocking. Oh, and it just got, so much harder. Oh, let's keep going. Just a few. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more, and lie back. Oh, I think that's the hardest thing we'll do today, guys. So if you did that, you're all set. You're totally fine. Okay, so let's try this now. Take your legs up into the air for just a moment and extend them. Good. Okay. Now bend your knees and you're going to rock up. Keep your feet together. Bring your knees apart And then reach your arms forward so that your upper body is in between your legs. So let's try that. We're going to rock up and reach forward. Rock and reach. Whoop, and I hit my wall. If you hit something, you try again. Reset. Okay. So rock and reach. There we go. And repeat that a few times. So you rock back, you let your hips lift, you rock forward, and you reach forward. Now, if you don't lift your hips, try, just try. It's very difficult, but try a few without lifting your hips. And just notice how hard that is. Okay, but humor me and try about 3 more. So you're not lifting your hips high when you come onto your back. You stall for a moment, and then you pull yourself up and reach forward. It's crazy core work. Yes, 1 more. Okay, now lift your hips high and use momentum. Whee! Yeah? Whoa, notice the difference, right? So if ever you want to do 3 more. If ever you want to make your rolling get-ups a lot harder, you know how. You just discovered it comes from not lifting your hips last time, which means you minimize your momentum. All right, sit. Take your legs forward and give yourself a shake. Okay, so I think we're just going to get right to it. I think we're pretty ready to go. How about 1 more time while you're seated, and I'm just going to talk at you for a moment. Do 1 more round of windshield wiper. This is where we started. Okay, so what we're going to look at for our first 50 reps is what we just did. So you're going to rock back, rolling like a ball on your back. And as you come up from that squat where your arms are forward, from that squat you just stand, right? You just stand up. And then you squat back down in reverse, reversing your pattern so that you can roll onto your back and start again. All right, take your legs forward. That's the first 50. The second 50 is going to be a single leg to stand up. It's a little, obviously, more balance intensive. So we've got an extra element of challenge to that one. But we'll take a little break and break it down when we get there. But let's just knock out these 50, okay? So you can obviously lift your hips to make it a little easier. That's what I'm going to do because we're doing 50 today. But if you ever experiment on your own and you want to make it more ab intensive, again, we just discovered that not lifting the hips will deliver that result. Okay, so on your back, ready, set, let's rock up, reach forward, and now stand for 1, and then we squat down, roll back, up for 2. All right, and we just get a nice little rhythm here. We're not going fast. 3, we're just keeping it steady. 4, now if you would like your feet apart, at this point, if that feels natural for your body, go ahead. 5, go ahead and do that. So any stance with your feet is totally valid. 6, it's going to take a little while, so just settle in. 7, and again, you're using your core abdominals. 8, to control yourself, so you're not all over the place, but you're tracking your body. 9, straight forward and backward every time. 10, yeah, feel free to play with different stances of your feet. 11, 12. The advantage to having your feet and your legs together, 13, is that you recruit some extra core body. 14, stabilization. 15, when you engage your inner thighs. 16, and the best way to engage your inner thighs is to hold your legs together. 17, so we're just going to keep it nice and light today. 18, you're using just enough momentum. 19, to get your feet underneath you. 20, but it's all very graceful and controlled, yes. 21, nice and graceful. 22. 23. 24. Well, look at that, look at that. 25, so you're halfway through this first set. That's pretty good. 26, and we're just gonna keep rocking. 27, I apologize, you can't see my head when I stand. 28, if you've been working out with me for a while, you know. 29, I've got a small space and it's really challenging to get a good camera angle. So 30, apologies for that. 31, use your hands anytime you need to. 32, you might use your hands every single time. That's perfectly valid, guys. Nothing wrong with that. 33. 34, and of course as you do it more and your body adapts. 35, you might find that you need your hands. 36, you need your hands less and less over time. 37, 38, it's right around here, right, where you're like 39, why did I decide to do this today? Yeah. But check it out, that's already 40. That is awesome. Let's go for 10 more here, guys. 41, and then we're gonna change it. So we're not gonna do this same move. 42 after the next 8, we're gonna change it up. 43, I challenge you here to get a little lighter on your landing. 44, so can you do it silently? Try to do a few silently. 44, it really changes it when you add that level. 45, that level of control. 46, 47, you're doing so great. Oh my God. 48, let's do 2 more. 49, one more time. 50, okay. So let's stay standing once you're standing. Come on up. Oh, it's nice to be vertical. Just shake it out a little bit. So that was 50 reps of our 100 rep challenge. That's pretty good. We're halfway there. So while I talk to you, take a moment to grab one foot, and let's keep this dynamic as well for right now. Grab the other foot and just go side to side a few times with that, that quad stretch. It's also starting to motivate your body's internal systems for balance. You're bringing balance online. So do a few more of these, because this next one is single-legged. So we're going to do 25 on each side, 50 total. And that will be our 100 reps. Good. So if you need a demonstration, what I would recommend is watch a few times. You can shake it out here. Watch a few times and then rewind the video to here, because we're gonna get pretty much right into it. So starting on our backs, this time as we rock up, I'm gonna have one leg tucked under, and I'm gonna land on one foot, and I'm gonna stand up on that front leg, that forward leg. and come up into a balanced position. Again, please watch a few if it's new. If you're ready to just jump in, here we go. So come onto your back. And let's begin here with the right leg up, the left leg bent. Yeah? And as you rock up, land on your right foot and your left shin, and then stand up. Right, so that's one repetition. We reverse it to go down, so it's left shin to the ground, rock back, switch your legs on your back. And now you're on your left foot and your right shin. So that's 2, and reverse it to go back. Switching sides each time. 3. A lot of balance on this one. 4. The good news is it gets better as you do it more. 5. 6. So a moderate pace. We're just staying nice and moderate. 7. If we were doing it as like a cardio drill, we might pick up the pace, but we're not. It's just a movement drill. 8. Anytime you need, you tap your toe down, assist yourself with balance. Again, it gets better as you do it more. 9. A little more fluid each time. 10. It's also really going to highlight any asymmetries in your body. 11. 12. We're doing great, guys. Remember, we're going to 50 here. 13. I'm counting every rep, but it will end up being 25 on each side. 14. Just keep breathing. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. We are very nearly almost halfway there. 18, trying to balance at the top every single time. Oh, I lost count. I'm so sorry. I'm going to call it 20. I'm going to call it 20. Every now and then I lose count. I'm so sorry, but we're just going to keep going. 21. So we might add a rep. We might lose a rep. 22. You can always make it up at the end. 23, if you're a real stickler. I'm not a stickler particularly. I like the number as a challenge, as a target. 24, but I'm not fixated on numbers. Maybe you are, and that's okay. It's not 25. It's not like there's anything wrong with that. It's just different approaches, different mindsets. 26. My mindset is basically do a shitload. 27, like just do a bunch and keep doing them. 28, and the number 100, it's just a nice round number. It's easy to work with. 29, but there's nothing special particularly about it. 30. So you might do 28, you might do 29, you might do 101. 31, either way, it's a shitload. And you can feel really good about that, and it's great practice. 32, great practice. Just for ingraining this kind of movement pattern. 33, into your body. 34, and that doesn't happen doing it once or twice or 10 times. Like, you got to do it a lot. You got to do it over and over and over. 35, for the body to learn it. 36. 37. How you doing? Starting to get challenging. 38. I really want to encourage you to take breaks anytime. You can always restart. 39. Restart the video. Pause and restart. 40. So we've got just 10 to go. That's 5 each side. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. Oh, we're really close now. 48. We've got just 2 more, 1 each side. 49. Here it is, number 50. Woo! Nice, all right. So that was 100 reps total between the first variation and that second variation. So let's take a moment up standing, just give it a shake out. Amazing job, guys. Wow, awesome, awesome. In your standing position, find something to hold on to because we're going to sustain this quad stretch. So it could be your wall, it could be a countertop or a dresser like I've got, and just take a couple moments there. Not too long, just a couple moments. Good, and then switching sides. Opening through those poor overworked quadriceps, getting some length on the front of the thigh. Good, let that release and come down onto your belly, and let's take the Sphinx pose. So you're propping onto your elbows and you're giving some pressure to the fronts of your legs. We've done this one in our integration, our cool down for almost every one of these routines, and that's because this is such a nice way to flush out the quads and the fronts of the hips after what's been a whole lot of squatting for most of these routines. And that's just because of how we chose to work with these get-up patterns. There's ways to get up that don't involve a strict, like a squat, but we worked on a lot of the squat variations, so it is a really nice way to recover from that pattern. Let's lower the upper body, rest your head, either forehead, cheek, or chin, and then bend your knees and just do a light windshield wiper here. Again, we've done this at the end of just about every routine because it's a nice quad massage. So if you got a pump, if you got to pump into your quads, you're feeling like a lot of blood pooled up in your quadriceps, this just helps, to push it through. Turn over those fluids, aid in your recovery. Nice. Let's come back into Sphinx pose. And then one side at a time, let's bend into the left knee, reach back with your left hand, and on the top of the foot, the top of the ankle, just a gentle bit of pressure downward. So we're working here, again, a quadricep stretch, just like we did upstanding. Good, and switching sides. And it doesn't have to be, a big, magnificent, righteous stretch. That's a different class. That's a different day. That's a different movement practice. this really is intended not so much for flexibility, but just for promoting good recovery. So it's meant to offer a counter position to all of what we just did. So it's helping to neutralize you. Release, please, and let's repeat on each side one more time. So it's just helping to neutralize. Yeah, we're not practicing flexibility right now, and we're not practicing yoga. Although, if you practice yoga, no doubt you know that this pretty much is a yoga pose. So Ardha Bakasana, if we're talking yoga talk, let's switch. But again, there's ways to practice it as a yoga asana that we're not engaging with right now. So that's really, that internal environment is the difference, in my opinion, and it's my opinion. And my biases are rich with with these kinds of opinions. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. But my thinking is that this is what makes what we're doing right now a stretch and a release, but not a yoga pose. Is you can let that go, come back to Sphinx, is the internal environment. So the intention that we have with doing it and what we engage with internally. You know, there's a lot more organization that goes on underneath the architecture of a yoga pose that makes it a mindful practice and mindful embodiment practice. You can lower down, rest your head, and that's what really makes yoga yoga and asana asana. Here, for now, bend your knees, windshield wiper. We're not doing any of that. There's none of that. There's none of that backdrop, that internal context. So then it's just stretching, yeah. And stretching is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's beneficial. There's nothing bad about it. Okay. So hands by your chest and cobra pose or cobra stretch. Let's call it cobra stretch instead of cobra pose because of everything I just said. Please refer to my previous babble session. Okay. I promise I'm done filling your ear. Breathe out, release, and come down. Gently, as you're ready, you can take whatever rest interval you'd like here on your belly, but when the time is right for you, press up. Sit back in child pose for a couple moments. Child position, child's stretch. And just extending through your arms. So what that means is straighten your arms as much as you can. So you get a quality of reach. And as much as the arms reach forward, the hips reach back. Okay. Bring yourself up to sitting, and we'll say so long, farewell. I hope you have had a lot of fun with this challenge series, these Movement Monday challenges, and I thank you so much for participating. Please give me some comments, let me know how it treated you, and if the repetition is beneficial for you to ingrain some of these movements. I know it has been for me, which is why I play with this kind of very repetitive movement practice, just because I know it helps. It helps me to learn the movement and really own the movement. All right, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you again for doing this.